We'll finish up with Rick.
Okay. Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio. This is Carol Parisi. Our founder, Jack Roser, and myself have our very special guest, Rick Pere, with us. Rick, really quickly, because we have a lot still to talk about, you are going to be back next week to talk more about this. You are also going to be in the Schomburg Library on June 17th to speak more on this topic. Jack, you asked Rick a question about how terrorists were funded here in America. What were you asking him during the break?
Well, those guys out east that bombed the Boston Marathon, they were educated with American funds. They came here somehow back and forth to Europe and where they came from in Russia and so forth. They were able to do that, although they were impoverished immigrants. How did they do that? How was that funded?
Well, the family themselves were receiving benefits under state welfare programs for about 10 years. But according to Islam, that is seen as a perfectly legitimate method of obtaining funds to finance individuals who are involved in the war against non-believers. One of the tenets of providing alms for people is called zakat. Okay, and one of
Would you say that again?
Zakat, and that is providing funds for the fighters of Islam to wage Islamic jihad against non-believers. And according to the way of thought in that, using state-sponsored welfare benefits so that the family can live and so that you can carry on in your activities is justified.
So they're using taxpayer dollars to fund
government.
terrorism.
There's something wrong with our government that they are letting things like the IRS and other welfare things support people who have plans that are inimical to the American system.
Not only that, we also know that one of the brothers did go back and forth between Chechnya and the United States and Durant in the Crimea. We don't know yet. There's an ongoing investigation into what level of finances that they received, but there's also Taliban and Chechnyan people in the United States right now. There is a Chechnyan imam who has been convicted of providing $50,000 to Al-Qaeda, financing and sending money back and laundering money back to terrorist organizations outside the United States. We know that Hamas here in the United States is sending money overseas to terrorist organizations.
The irony of all this is that the IRS is going after the Tea Party people, and then we also have the IRS that could be doing some of the research on some of these terrorists that want to tear down our country. There's just such a hypocritic
Well, the
irony
truth
there.
is there's no way you can win a war if you don't know you're in one.
Americans don't believe that they're at war. That is the biggest danger. And the government is not acting like we are at war.
Wow.
The problem is we're not at war with them and never have been.
They're at war
with us. And they have been since the first incursion into Spain.
And that was when?
About 720 AD.
A long
In
time.
that area.
That's right, they came over the Pyrenees.
They came over, actually, the African emir was named Ben Joseph, and it was actually the first incursion into Alhambra and into southern Spain.
And that they went over the Pyrenees and invaded France as well.
Yeah, but they didn't get much farther than that.
When Martel got into prominence in fighting them and did stop them. They eventually got stopped at Vienna.
Vienna.
They were
stopped at Vienna, but that came from Constantinople.
You keep blowing me away with your vast knowledge, Mr.
What we're
Roser.
talking about there was the actual beginnings of the incursion into Spain from Ben Joseph.
This is the crusade. This is what started the crusade. Was these guys invading Spain and Europe and chasing the Christians out of the Holy Land?
We got a crusade right here in Illinois, and that is our Illinois pension scam. Mr. Pere, thank you. He's going to be back here next Sunday at 8 a.m. with Champion News Talk Radio. We are your choice for the conservative voice. Remember, El Sueño Americano is a great publication. We will see you next Sunday at 8 a.m.